All right, so I'm here with Chef Travis Kamiyama.
Yes.
He is the founder, owner, developer. He is the man that is behind Izumi. So I saw your questions on Royal Caribbean Food Chronicles. We're going to ask those questions. Hopefully I can still remember what they were. But if I don't get them in the live interview, I will type them in your responses. So at least I did already talk to him about the questions, and he was very happy to stand here and just spend a few minutes with me. And a couple of questions I wanted to ask you. First of all,
Sure.
so you are the founder and basically
Master Chef, of
proprietor.
Izumi. Yes. Well, actually, I started 14 years ago, right, Nick? So Izumi started as a pilot on Oasis class, and then Oasis came and Allure came, and then we just like went to all the ships. So we actually opened 26. We no longer have Legend and Splendor, but quickly I have the Icon and Utopia coming up, right? So Izumi basically means natural spring source of water. In this particular ship, Nick, we have like Freedom, Indy, and Mariner. They have hibachi on deck 4, all the way with this is 4, right? So mostly Teppan. Our sushi bar is very limited, but I am the consultant and the founder of the concept and master chef behind all the menu.
Now, I always call him the hardest working man in the cruise industry. You must live on the ships at least, how many weeks a year are you on the ships? And what is it that you do? You go ship to ship? Do you train? Do you do quality control? What do you do all the time on the ships?
Yeah, well, Nick, thank you for that. I mean, if you're passionate about something, I guess you don't look at it as work, but I am a very diligent, dedicated person, right? So in order for something to work, Nick, you can have a restaurant for 1 year and do great. Oh, let's see what the second year looks like. Let's see what year 5 looks like. We're at the year 14. So if you don't physically go and visit those ships, your foot is touching the ground. You're touching base with provision, inventory masters. You're touching base with food and beverage team and the culinary team. You have to literally see everything and engage and tweak things quickly and keep those standards ship to ship. And that's kind of how that's just my way of doing things, right? So that's what's been working, Nick.
Okay.
Yeah.
And who do you report to?
Well, I have directors, right, that are in their food and beverage. Senior directors, he's Dominic Gamba, also Paul Fortin, and of course Vice President Lincoln D'Souza.
Wow.
Yeah.
How often do you go to headquarters in Miami?
Not very much. As often as possibly. I don't get there quite often. I'm more on the ships. I mean, when we have new concepts like Icon and stuff, I'll go visit them. Maybe a couple times a year, maybe.
So they really want you to be going all the ships for quality control.
Yes, and plus I saw them on the President's Cruise. Sometimes I'll see them, on the ships for special events, inaugurals and stuff like that. So, yeah, I'm mostly on the ground, in the fleet, in the trenches with the team. Yes.
So you're training, you're mentoring.
Yes, basically just tasting everything, right? Seeing what products are different, doing the succession plan. One of the most important things, right, Nick, is that our chefs that are trained stays here and it rotated properly all throughout the year, contract to contract. So if you can't do the succession plan, if you don't have your chefs, man, that's going to be tough.
That is very true for all professions.
Yes.
Succession planning. It applies to accounting, it applies to senior management, corporate, chefs, and you're a master chef, so I couldn't even begin to imagine the knowledge that this guy has of all the different types of food. And if you ever see his posts, he posts some of the most exotic, purest sushi from all over the world. And when he says here is grade A sushi, oh my gosh, it's grade A sushi. So one of the questions I had, and some people kind of mix up the terms, we talked a little bit about what's the difference between Tepanyaki and hibachi, because here we have Izumi hibachi, sushi and hibachi, and the other ships, there's a couple of ships, I guess Odyssey is one, they have a Izumi sushi, and then they have a separate Tepanyaki.
Yes.
So just explain real briefly, what is the difference?
Yes, so Nick, mostly hibachi in modern term means live cooking, right? That's what hibachi means, and also it comes from the word of cooking under the charcoal. So this is what the hibachi means. Tepanyaki is actually teppan is griddle. Yaki means to cook. So that's more of a classic word, tepanyaki. But it's interchangeable, you know, Nick. I think most of the guests understand what hibachi is now, or royal.
So basically, between the two, it's going to be the same experience.
Yes,
nothing
absolutely,
different.
absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
And someone mentioned in a sushi making class, can you substitute a cooked for a sushi? Cooked fish for a sushi?
Yes, yes. You know, you can have extra shrimp tempura, right? You could do, blanched shrimp if you like, or sushi ebi. We have it, as well as like California roll. Like if we have snow crab or the fake imitation stuff. Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about the sushi and sake pairing.
Pairing?
Something I have to do.
Ah, okay.
I'm going to be doing that soon.
Yes, yes. We're gonna have a few this week, so I'll let you know about that. It's usually once a week per voyage, and it's like a 5-course meal, Nick, with premium sake, some of our carpaccio sashimi dishes with modern signature rolls, and then at the end you get like a teppan fried rice at the end, right? And it pairs with different types of sake. Some are sparkling, some are unfiltered, and some are pure Jumai sake.
Okay. I've heard a lot about, and my friend Denise, who's probably watching here, she always loved the she's a geisha.
Oh, she's a geisha.
What?
Okay.
What is the she's a geisha?
Well, you gotta have one to find out, Nick.
Oh.
She's a geisha is basically a sake cocktail that's muddled berries, and some of the sweetness to it, like agave, and some citrus to it, and the sake, of course.
What is the percent alcohol in sake?
15%. So it's just like grape wine.
Sake is strong.
Yeah, it's literally a rice wine. Yeah.
Okay. Someone asked about the shows, and so in the hibachi and
Yes.
the teppanyaki, they do the entertainment, and you all have probably been here, and it's very entertaining just as much as food. I really love the fried rice. I mean, it's like,
Thank you.
whew.
Yeah.
But the shows, if someone says, "Oh, they're all the same," they're all the same. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to say about that.
Yeah, it's Nick. I mean, I'm challenging my guys to be a little bit more creative, right? But yeah, it's usually like singing and doing the egg tricks. I wish we could do the fire. It's not really possible on a cruise ship. So playing with the fire. Sometimes if we have different ingredients, we could do a little different experience. But it's something to definitely think about, and I appreciate that question coming from the guests.
So you're on board all week. What is your typical day? Do you work 8 to 5? Are you working 16-hour days? What do you do during a typical day?
Nick, whatever the business says, right? My thing is impact. You gotta make impact. I don't think it's about the quantity of hours. It's what you can do that will, elevate the, experience, right? From the ratings perspective, value perspective, and also what difference can I make? Because I usually don't come back for 6 months a year. So very, honed in on what can I make a big impact on that will help this venue, ship to
So
ship.
when you're on an 8-night cruise, you don't get off at Nassau and fly to another ship, or do you stay on the whole
I
cruise?
do. Sometimes I try to. I do. Short visits, right? Mid-cruise visits. But if I can, I try to do the whole voyage, and it has to make sense. And there's such a limited time, Nick. I mean, can you imagine going to 24 ships like once a year? They're all over the place, right?
Wow.
So you got to regionalize it. So after this, I'll do one more in Port Canaveral, and I'll fly over to Europe for to visit like 3-4 ships. And I'll come back, and so everything has to be strategic because I'm already working on Icon, and everything is seasonal, and like it's like every quarter I have to plan ahead.
Speaking of Icon, some of you may have heard right here and other places that they're going to be having a to-go, an Izumi to-go on Central Park. So tell us a little bit about that.
Well, yeah, I hope to see you guys on board.
I'll be on the inaugural sale.
Awesome. Izumi window is our first official takeout window in the Central Park, right? Open all day, pretty much from I think 11 o'clock onwards. And we're gonna have basically sushi bento and some hot appetizers to go. And also have this proprietary, well, it's actually like a Japanese, soft serve and a waffle. That's what it's gonna have.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Like mochi ice cream?
Well, it won't be mochi ice cream, but it'll be like a fresh waffle that we're gonna basically put that soft serve in, and we're gonna have different toppings. Like I think there's a mochi, a sort of mochi on top, and different like chocolate and swirls and things on that.
So a lot of people are saying, oh, they should have this and this. They should have Thai. You need to look at starting to do Pan Asian or other types. Who makes the decisions on some new concept or new types of food? Who makes those decisions?
That'll be the shoreside product development, innovation, of course the F&B executives, right? They mingle together, and I think for the Asian, I mean, we're so lucky. I mean, I'm pretty much on all the ships except Liberty and Enchantment at the moment. I think Liberty will get the revitalization, but definitely, Nick, and to all the guests, there are room for other Asian iconic, concepts that we could have on board, right? I can't disagree with that.
I remember a long time ago when Enchantment came to Port Canaveral to replace Majesty, and there was rumors that Enchantment would get Izumi and all that, and you never know. So when you're on board, you don't have time to do anything but work. Do you ever see a show? Or
Nick, I have time freedom, right? So I think most of the things that I enjoy are connecting with people, building a relationship, right? And that's what I like to do.
You know what's interesting? Everywhere I go, and I'm on cruise ships every other week practically, so half the year I'm on cruise ships myself.
Yeah.
Anytime I talk about food and, I don't know, sort of Izumi comes up, everybody knows Chef Travis. I mean, everyone has. If you can go by one name only, you're very famous. Like Madonna, Cher, Pele. Let's see, who else?
Elvis, what?
Elvis, yeah.
Okay.
So, LeBron, he's even getting. Anyone who goes by one name, they're pretty darn good. So all I do is, mention to someone in my food page, and I will say, Chef Travis is even Chef Travis. And these are just, waiters and, people in the Windjam. Everybody knows this guy.
Thank you.
He is a mentor to all. I think everyone in culinary should strive to be like you. Now, I notice you also have an involvement with Sandals. What do? You consult with them too?
I help them out. Yeah, absolutely. I'm exclusive to Royal Caribbean for cruise lines, right? But I have my own restaurants back home, partnerships, and but Sandals, yes, I help them out in their concepts as well. But it's a land-based concept, and all I can say, Nick, is that there's nothing that takes more energy and passion and commitment than a cruise line, because we're moving around all the time, and we're all over the world. So, always repositioning and stuff. So that's what makes it much more complicated, but more focus is needed right here.
So we talked about Icon. Anything with Utopia coming up?
Yeah, absolutely.
Anything new for Utopia?
Yeah, I think you gotta stay tuned for that. I'm not sure exactly what they announced on there, but I can guarantee you it's gonna be bigger than the existing Oasis class. So thank God for that, because hibachi, right? There's only 24 seats on the Oasis class. That's definitely not enough. So we're gonna double that one,
I know that Super Mario loves the Tepanyaki.
Oh, does he?
Oh, that's like one of his favorites. So
Okay.
if he happens to be watching this,
Yeah.
I know he loves Tepanyaki, and I'm sure he will
Thank
say hi
you.
to
Thank
you.
you.
'Cause,
Thank you.
Let's see. Anything else? I don't think anything else here, but I really appreciate you taking
Thank
the
you.
time.
No, my pleasure.
And
My
it's
pleasure.
funny. We know a lot of the same chefs because I've been cruising for years as well. And this is a funny story. Out in Ocho Rios, the
Wow.
Sandals Junior Downer.
Yes.
So, I had my home ships back in the day, and I remember Junior Downer was a good friend of mine, and I used to bring him the Krispy Kreme donuts, and it was crazy. So
Yeah.
Junior left, and he's now managing a Sandals, and Chef Travis was over there.
Yeah.
He sent a photo, and we sent photo, and we had like
that's-
before and after photos, and we all get a little older, but we still
you.
remember all of the times, and
Thank
but
you. I know. Great
I'm
stuff.
telling you, this has just been a great honor to be here with you,
Yeah.
and I really appreciate you taking
Thank
the
you,
time.
Nick. No, my gratitude to you and all the guests, man. It's a true pleasure. Thank you so much for the loyalty.
Yes.
Thank you.
So thanks everyone for tuning in, and if you have any more questions, just put them in the comments below, and I will be happy to answer them, and we'll find out the answers. If I don't know them, we'll find out from him. All right. Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Ciao.